Salutations, everybody, and welcome. See, there I go.
In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves.
We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery.
Unity
is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate.
In this world there's room for everyone. The good earth is rich and can provide for everyone.
It underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the only home we've ever known.
Let us all unite!
Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Welcome.
Welcome. We are on week 5 of the podcast. Last week we recorded an episode, but unfortunately, Drum was super exhausted when we recorded. We didn't have a great topic, and we're moving on and forgetting it ever happened. And this week's going to be episode 4, even though it's the 5th week of recording the podcast. So we're sorry for no episode last week. But we're making up for it this week. This one might be a little bit long.
By moving on and forgetting it ever happened, what we mean is we're rehashing exactly what we said last time and talking about it in a more nuanced fashion this time.
Exactly. But you won't know that. Well, now you do. All right. Well, that's been
just
ruined.
Edit that out.
Yeah, just cut it out. Oof.
Yeah, just bleep me. I'm an offensive person anyway. I'm the one who gets the most oofs on this.
So let's talk about what's been going on the Unity Minecraft server this week.
Well, so the big stuff this week is, for those of us who have been around for a long time, I don't want to belittle everything else Ty has done, but I'm going to say the most important thing that Ty has ever done in his life was creating a Dance Dance Revolution machine in Minecraft for all of the records, and now he's updated it to include the new one, Pig Step, and he's made it on the server.
Ty has built this once on Unity 1.13.
Yeah.
I think he did it once. Did he try and do it on 1.14.15 land?
I don't think he got the Games District up and running fast enough for that to happen. I mean, he only got DDR up,
the very end of the life cycle.
Yeah, 2 weeks before we decided to reset. I only ever played it twice.
Yeah, so he tried it on 1.13, didn't get to it on 1.14.15, and now, after living on the Redstone server for 5 months, it has finally been brought to life at the Unity Games District, which I think we were calling Unity Virtual Studios. I'm not sure what the name of the Games District is.
Did he come up with that?
There was some meme funny name like that, but I'm not positive what it was. But yes, congratulations to Ty. I'm sure that will be featured this week in the Games District. So, yes, give Ty all the praise in the world. We're very thrilled that has finally arrived on the Unity Minecraft server.
Yeah, I want to do the new record.
Yeah, Pig Step slaps. That would be the the one I'd want to dance to. It's also not that long. So.
Yeah, oh my god. He let me choose which one. I chose the one that was 6 minutes long randomly out of all of them.
Nice. Yeah. And see, it's just a random combo. It's not even lined up to be the same dance moves. So you're just kind of jumping and tapping for 6 minutes. But it's still fascinating. Very cool. Ty, you still need to start a YouTube channel like you discussed last week. Post that. You get 40,000 upvotes on the Minecraft subreddit.
Yeah.
The other big thing that's been going on this week that has been very exciting is that Juju has been making a lot of progress on the Unity custom texture pack for the server. I think it started off as kind of a joke, and then Juju started making a texture pack where she retextured all the cats to be the little Juju's because Juju is a cat. And so then she decided to do everybody on the server, including in the texture pack. So as far as we know at this point, the released ones that I know I'm authorized to say are, we have obviously the Juju cats. We have Choppa as the Vindicators because Choppa's holding an axe chopping wood. We have Thinderman Mr. Jones, which is my favorite. We have Drum Gast, so huge versions of me floating around in the nether. And I had to capture one and put it at my base. We have Chess Bees. And we have Friendly
Chickens.
Wolves.
Sammy
Sammy
Chickens.
Chickens. And Friendly is our
And
wolves.
Ty is the...
Oh, yeah, Ty is the slime and the magma cubes.
Which is, I gotta say, scary as all hell when the magma cubes jump and they like break off into those like
Yeah,
slices.
they do their separation thing. But Juju is absolutely killing it. This is the coolest thing ever, and I'm so
Oh my
excited
God.
about it.
And the gas when they get angry, their face.
Oh yeah,
the
she
drum
made it so that
face.
my eyes turn red when I shoot fireballs at people. And she also wasn't lazy enough to like just put my face on a gas body. She even like textured the legs of the ghast to be like my skin, which is really cool. So Juju is killing it on the texture pack. She said about 10 more days she'll have she's trying to do one skin a day.
Oh, ham pigs.
Ham pig she knocked out today too.
Yeah. Although I'm be honest, wasn't that hard. It was basically just put
sunglasses on pig.
on
not too tricky there. So I think we've talked about it a little bit. Me and Chess have been working on the Wither Skeleton project. For this project, though, we needed 60,000 pistons.
Jesus.
And your boy is pretty lazy. After crafting about 6 stacks of them, I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So I turned to a brand new shop. Well, brand new as of a week ago shop that was built at spawn. It looks absolutely awesome, and it's called the Grind Monkey Shop. And at this shop, which is run by Juju and Joy, you can kind of just ask them to do anything, and they will do it. So I put in the first order of having Juju craft me 20,000 pistons. And let me tell you what, she knocked that out so fast. So I put in another order and had her craft another 20,000 pistons. And they knocked it out. And I'm telling you, dude, they're going to be the most profitable shop on the server. I'm going to use them for everything, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I used it. I was like, damn, I'm not going to spend all this time getting... In fact, I honestly didn't... I had them get me a shulker's worth of andesite, of raw andesite. And I honestly did not need that much. I would probably only need like 3 stacks, but I was just like, I'm just going to pay him to do it so I won't have to get him for a long time. And now I've got tons of andesite. I'm happy. So
I mean, it's a great idea because Juju would help you do any of that kind of stuff, like without even paying her beforehand.
Free charge.
But now she's just profiting off the fact that she's really good at doing the grindy stuff. So props to Juju. Joy as well. I'm just saying Juju because I've had the most interaction with Juju at the grind shop.
And also because Juju's like doing like 10 other things on the server, including making this amazing texture pack. She's like the MVP of the server.
Yeah, Juju's been killing it for the last 2 weeks. She's doing the texture pack. She finished the Fantasy Island. She opened the Grind Monkey shop. She crafted 40,000 pistons. She helped Joy open the terracotta shop and mined like 50,000 terracotta to stock that shop. She's been working on the nether hallways. I mean, Juju, MVP of the week. I don't know if we need to add that as a segment, but Juju is definitely the Unity MVP of the week because absolutely killing it on the server. Love to see it.
She gets the thin seal of approval.
Thin seal of approval. That's great.
If we bring that back.
I think, well, I just briefly mentioned it. We also had Terracotta Shop open this week. The Netherite Shop from Jack and Cave opened this week and has sold out.
Good business, yeah.
Yeah, it's sold out almost instantly every time Jack restocks it. Unfortunately, Cave has been still dealing with computer issues. We hope to have him back on the server soon, but he should arrive to a lot of diamonds from that very profitable shop. Oh, is that all the shops? Secret shop, no updates. They restocked of quartz, and as far as I know, they have not change their products at all, and no one has come forward per our request last week.
So that's strange, though, that they restock the quartz, because usually when they sell out, don't they start a new deal?
No. That's what I meant. They stocked full of quartz, and then that's the last I've seen. Chess bought them all out, and nothing has happened, which would make me suspect possibly Cave, since he has been unable to be on the server. But we won't go back into speculation all again.
You've been doing some pretty cool stuff that you've been doing on stream, right? You started streaming with your new rig.
Yeah, so I guess since this is covering 2 weeks, last week I finally built a PC. I'm still on Team Mac for a lot of reasons, but I do have a PC now. And with the insane hardware that I got from my PC, I was able to start streaming. So I've started streaming. It's been a blast. Having a lot of fun. Got decent viewership, having a good time doing it, and started on a project that I'm going to work on this week. Is a parkour course at the gaming district. So if you want to see that getting built every day, every weekday from about 3 to 5 p.m., I'll be working on that on stream. Link below, twitch.tv/drumrate8. Stop by, drop a follow, say hi. I think anybody who's listening to the podcast probably already does stop by, and I greatly appreciate that. But if somehow we're reaching a wider audience, come check me out.
Yeah, you never know. I had a video just earlier this week. So for in my sort of community center, I started doing a series of GeoGuessr videos, and one of my videos got and this is not super impressive because I usually get 4 views, but I got 4 times. I got almost 20 views on one of the videos and added just nowhere. So I don't know. 16 other people just came in and were like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna watch this guy," and then never watch another episode or subscribe to him. So thanks, other 16 people.
I've been really enjoying the GeoGuessr videos. I think it's very fascinating. I've talked with other people on the server behind your back, and the general consensus is, wow, Thin is way smarter than we give him credit for. Because, you'll just be playing and be like, that looks like very Slavic architecture. And we're like, what are you talking about? Or my favorite quote, this road has big Russia energy, and it scares me.
Is that your new favorite one for me? Is it overtaken? We need to introduce a 5th wood.
They're neck and neck right now, but the big Russia energy is definitely cracking me up. I'm not gonna lie.
You'll get hopefully by the time this comes out, because I have already recorded a couple episodes, one of which is me playing the California map that I kept talking about.
Oh, yeah?
Where you'll know whether my knowledge of my own state comes in handy or I just totally fall flat on my ass and embarrass myself.
See, I think it's very impressive, because if you created a map for me that was a 30-mile radius around my house, I probably still wouldn't get it. You couldn't even go state for me. I've never gone past Nashville and Tennessee.
Well, so the problem is that I can consistently get higher scores on the world than on just California, and that's due to the fact that because it's only it's only taking scores based on where all of the possible locations in California are. You could be across the state and get only 2 points, whereas you could be across the state in California on a world map and get 2,000 points.
Yeah.
3,000 points.
What is the ratio there? Because when I've watched other people play a diverse world or just the world map, they can be thousands of miles away and still get points.
Well, so because it's on the world, it takes it as the world as a whole. So you can get 0 points basically. So if you know, if you know about astronomy, geography, you would know that there's such a thing as an antipode, which is a point at which you are directly across the world going through the center of the world from your location. So New Zealand would be to like, I don't know, New York or something like that. And it's choosing that as the point of like, if you're in this point in New Zealand and you're at the exact antipode on the other side of the world, you get 0 points, and in between then there's a spectrum based on how far away you are.
See, guys, what I meant about the smarter thing? I've never heard the word antipode in my life, but Finn seems to have a profound knowledge of what that word means.
It's basically saying what's the farthest possible distance you could be between one location and the other, and that's 0 points, and then
right.
it apportions you up to 5,000 points based on how close you are.
Gotcha.
The percentage on that. I don't know exactly what the percentage is, whether it like cuts it off at like 80%, 60%, 40%, 20%. I assume for like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5,000 scale. I don't know. But yeah, so you get a lot of average lesser scores when you're on more enclosed maps. Like I've played a map that's just San Francisco, and I've been through San Francisco tons of times, and you can be, within like 10 feet and still only get like 49.98 out of 5,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I was watching a guy do a 5,000 like perfect score challenge, and he was getting like 3 yards away from people from his locations, and you're just like, dude, that is nuts that you have to be that precise.
It's pretty insane that you can actually figure that out in the first place, and a lot of the times, or at least some of the times, it's complete luck. Just like scrolling through something and then finding like the name of like a town or a street or some like business that you started in front of that looks familiar to you that like you saw earlier. It's crazy.
Yeah, so if you guys want to be absolutely wowed by Thin's knowledge of geography, check out his GeoGuessing series. He said he's going to be putting up a new one pretty soon. But I think there's, 4 or 5 episodes already?
Yeah, I think there's about 5 episodes up already.
Yeah, so check them out. They're very good. Link in the description, as always. So we'll have link to Drum's channel, Thin's channel, and Drum's Twitch, and One Man Banana Jam Band we'll throw in again. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go check out One Man Banana Jam Band, Thin's solo project where he sings exclusively about bananas. So, let's get into our main topic today.
Well, so our main topic tonight is talking about having a active... What?
I'm sorry, I just heard donative again in my
I'm looking this up. Is this a word? Donative.
Donative.
Donative. Given as a donation. Adjective. It works.
Okay. It is real. Guys, Thin started off this intro by saying something about a donative server. And it's just cracked me up. All right, we'll do professional intro. Here we go. We're going to talk about pay-to-win servers. We'll pull it together. We took a week off, guys, and now we're being goofy beans.
Apart.
All right. All right. Check. Mic check. Here we go. Let's talk about pay-to-win servers.
And having a player base that will donate. Enticing people to donate, or not enticing and still having people donate out of the kindness of their souls.
So this was inspired by a post I saw. I'll just read it, as always. Won't say who it's from. Blah, blah, you can find it. Need help enticing people to donate. Posted on Admincraft, which is a subreddit dedicated to people who run servers or trying to improve communities, blah, blah, blah. They say, I know the title makes me sound greedy, which it does, but in reality, I just want enough money to maintain my server and have it be self-sufficient. I'm just starting my server out, so I'm not expecting any donations soon. I have a 3-phase process. Establish of the foundation, build off of that foundation, and finally expanding from what I built. Really don't understand how that's correlated. But the last little part of this says, what are some in-game items or activities that people could have access to once a month so that it doesn't completely ruin the economy on the server, but isn't so useless that people don't want to donate? So, let's just break this down. On Unity, I ran the server for, I don't know, half a year without a Patreon, right? I don't even remember where I started the Patreon. Then it was suggested by people who wanted to help support the server to create a Patreon. And over time it's grown, and now the server was totally self-sufficient. Now we're sort of teetering on the brink, but that's okay. Anyways, we never told people they had to donate. We never had to ask people to donate. We never offered any rewards, but people out of the kindness of their heart donated to our Patreon. And I feel like that is a very rare thing. So it's going to be hard to apply that to this topic. So aside from Unity, let's talk about what they're going for here. They say, like I said, I don't really get the three-phase process. But the issue that I took with it is, what are some in-game items or activity that people could have access to, blah, blah, blah. I feel like as soon as you start rewarding people for donating to a server, it becomes very quickly either socially a pay-to-win server or in-game pay-to-win server. Why I say socially and in-game. So if we do have ranks on Unity, and all it is just you get a tag. You don't get access to anything special. You just get a tag in Discord so people know that you donated to the Patreon. That's the highest reward we offer, and you get it whether you give us 50 cents or $50.
The ranks on our server, when you get 500 minutes, you become member status, and you get access to all of like the Unity community special channels on Discord, which, it's not like a reward or anything. It just makes you help feel like you're part of the community and help sort of establish yourself.
It's a way to cosmetically say thank you that does not put you above the rest of the players.
Yeah.
So if you have something like this, there's also the social pay-to-win thing of if you donate, you would then gain favor or gain status in the Discord, which I really don't like. I don't think that should be included, especially in a Minecraft community setting where everyone should be equals. I've talked about that countlessly. Even if you own the server or you're 5 minutes new on the server, you should be equals. So I don't like that for that sense. And then the issue is the access to in-game items or in-game experiences. Now, we've dealt with this in the gaming industry for a long time, the pay-to-win mentality. I think there was a huge thing passed about loot crates weren't allowed because it was pay-to-win, but it was gambling. And now I think it's kind of hard to, in at least a AAA game, find a pay-to-win scenario. But in Minecraft, you do have the freedom to make it a pay-to-win scenario. And I think that is one of the worst things you can do to your community. And I feel bad for this guy, but if he implements those kind of things, at least in my opinion, his community will die fast, based on personal experience.
Do they have the freedom to make it pay to win? I thought that was breaking their EULA, because didn't they change that because of pay to win Minecraft servers?
I don't know about that. What are you talking about?
Well, it just happens to be that the first major comment suggested something, and then a few comments down from that replying to it, it said that you'd be breaking Mojang's EULA. And I do remember, it must have been about 5 or 6 years ago now, that they did change their EULA specifically because there were Minecraft servers that got really popular that were maybe it specifically has to do with like COPPA and stuff like that, where it's like, enticing like minors to get their parents' credit cards to pay for stuff, because that's what that stemmed out of, I think, was there being a bunch of like Minecraft servers that were being advertised by big YouTubers that were pay to win, and then there were a bunch of like young people going on and using their parents' credit cards for that.
So that's interesting, because related to my experience, I think that may be the loophole that they found. Was that I was on a server, I can't remember the name, so I won't bother trying to say it, but between Friendcraft and Unity, I was briefly, maybe 2 weeks, on a server. And on this server, they had jobs, the plugin jobs. They had, I'm not positive what a townie server is, but I think it was a townie server because you could claim land and you had a job and you could earn in-game money and stuff. Anyways, the way they did it, rather than have a Patreon like ours where you donate, there's no reward besides, the cosmetic role in Discord, you could receive in-game money depending on how much you donated. So if I donated $5 to the Patreon, I would get X amount of in-game cash. Then with that in-game cash, you could purchase ranks on the server. And these weren't just little ranks or anything. This was, it started out pretty simple. You could get little kits. If you played on modded servers, sometimes you have kits, which are included. Like every time you die, you'd respawn with an armor kit. It would give you extra set homes, which I hate the set home feature and the wild commands on those kind of servers. So you would get extra homes. But then it started getting a little crazy of you could then turn on keep inventory for yourself. You could have access to 15 homes. You could have access to creative flight and survival. If you kept donating, you could get access to creative and like just actually creative mode. You could have like up to 100 homes, blah, blah, blah. It went up to the point, and I did the math. If you wanted to reach this, it's like Archangel status that was on the server, it was like $300. And essentially, you were buying yourself an opt position on the server. And that is just like crazy to me. And the way that you really knew it was sketchy is it wasn't a Patreon. These people weren't monthly supporting. They were literally just, quote unquote, donating to the server owner. And I think that is just absolutely corrupt as hell. Like, that just seems so sketch to me. Like, I was blown away when we were making like $40 on Patreon. That was awesome. But if somebody's paying $200 for me to op them on the server, how do you take that and feel good about it? That's just so scummy to me.
Well, so, I mean, I've never really had that sort of mentality, so I don't kind of understand it about why you would want to pay more money than you already, like, I paid, $24 for this Minecraft account. And I don't know why I would spend more money just to feel good about myself on the server. And as far as, unless people really want to have a blue name on the Discord, that's not why they're donating to us on our server. So we're obviously not offering anything for them. I don't understand why you would ever do the game like that, why you'd ever, for any good intention, why you would ever run your server like that, saying, you can buy yourself an op position without using even like a third-party service like a Patreon or something. I mean, if it's just a direct deposit into your account, I mean, that is just absolutely soliciting money.
It was a PayPal link to the chick that ran the server. And this was not a small server. This was like 200 people. And the frustration that people had is that when you would purchase this in-game money, quote unquote, or support the server, there was like when you checked out or whatever, there was a thank you. This will be applied to helping the server get paid for plugins and this kind of stuff. And we did the math, the people that tore off from the server back when I was still friends with them, we did the math. And she had made, in 1 month, it was something like $1,200 off of donations. Because it kept kept a log of what people had purchased from her website. So she had made $1,200 and nothing on the server had changed. It didn't get upgraded, nothing changed, plugins were still out of date, people were having issues. She wasn't even running the server effectively. She's just profiteering off of people just donating to get in-game status.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds pretty blatant. So there was a point at which where we had a little disparation between how much we were getting off the server and how much was actually going to the server. And we noticed that, and we were right on trying to figure that out, doing the math to make sure what added up, figuring out what was actually going to Patreon and what was actually coming directly to us. We found that it all did work out in the end, luckily, but, we noticed that there was something possibly off, and we went right to fixing that.
Right, because my goal from Unity is not to make money. My goal on Twitch and YouTube, sure, is make money. That's my content. I'll do that. In Unity, not to make money. And I mean, we did have a disparity there for a minute where we were making more, and it immediately was a discussion in Unity of, well, what do we want to do with this extra money? Now, I eventually made the executive decision that could have been mistaken as being a little scummy, but now has proven to be correct. If I said, well, I think we should just hold on to it because we're not guaranteed those patrons forever. And sure enough, here we are 2 months later, and we've dropped below, what the cost of the server is every month coming from Patreon. But I feel good knowing that we have X amount that we've put back from when we were making more than the server cost, and we can keep the server where it's at for a while. Now, come a month from now, 2 months from now, yeah, maybe we need to downgrade the server or remind everyone there's a Patreon. But I think that was the right decision there because, no, profiting off of a Minecraft server feels very weird to me. It also feels weird to me because I don't know about you, but like Minecraft is not a game where I feel like the experience is enhanced by having those things. And it's also like, well, you could just go in a single player and be creative. Or if you're going to pay $300 to a server, why don't you start your own server and then you can be opt on it?
I don't understand what would justify even making that kind of a money off of a Minecraft server if you're not doing something with that server. Like you said, she obviously wasn't putting a lot of, effort into making the server better or putting any money back into the server. So she's profiteering on what? Having bought the server, keeping it running every month, which supposedly she wasn't even doing according to, her donations, which you said the donations was going to. And then what? Maybe, I don't know, maybe she did YouTube videos, maybe not, but,
No, she did nothing outside of this.
Yeah.
She wasn't even active in the server. She said that her favorite part of Minecraft was just working on the back end stuff. Well, she wasn't doing that. And let me just clarify, I was not playing on a server with 256 gigs of RAM, unlimited player slots, high pixel quality, no, it was a Spigot server with 64 gigs of RAM running Townie, World Guard, World Edit. Oh yeah, World Edit was one that you could buy access to. It was just like the 5 basic plugins you find on every quote-unquote semi-vanilla server. This was not some intense... At most, if she was paying for decked-out hardware, the server cost $100 a month to run.
How many people were on at a time?
I mean, we've had this discussion before. There was definitely a disparity of people in the Discord. But at a time, lowest I ever saw was 15 to 20 players. So it's like a mid-tier server. Definitely one of those community-based servers where you're just another head on a tab list. It was, the voice chat was never popping. You had to know everyone was in their own private calls with their friends. It wasn't a community. Which is another reason, why would you want to pay to be, up there on that server? So no one would ever get to see, the powers you have because it's not community-based. I could understand somebody wanting to be opt and have World Edit on Unity because everybody would see what they were doing. But on that server, where it was everyone would /r wild when they got there and be 5,000 blocks from each other, it didn't make sense of why you would pay to win on that server.
I mean, and going right back to because you mentioned on your Twitch, on your YouTube, you're willing to make profit off of that because that's your content. You shouldn't be willing to do that as a server owner just from owning the server and especially, I can see it more with a smaller server like ours, which is very community oriented. I didn't build everything on the server. You didn't build everything on the server. No one person built everything on the server. It's very much the community server. So no one person really can lay claim to taking profits from the server just existing for everyone else. You had the idea for the server, that's fine, but
yeah, it's not like I created the atmosphere or community. Yeah. As I've talked about in my videos, I provided the environment for the community to grow in. So yeah, at no point would it feel right taking money because it's not well, I didn't create this community. It would be, send everybody 10 cents of it because everybody's a part of the community.
So, so from my perspective, it seems sort of even morally bankrupt, if even reprehensible, to even do that.
Yeah.
To just profit off of the server.
Now, I know some people do run servers and they make money off of them, and they run those kind of servers like high pixel style servers. And that I can understand because you are literally just providing an environment for people to just You've built up the parkour courses. You've built up the plugins to do survival games like that. I can understand if
Right.
people want to pay for VIP membership and stuff. Yeah, but if you're playing what was quote unquote a semi-vanilla or vanilla server, and it's about community and that kind of stuff, no, it's not your place to take money from it, or at least it's my opinion.
Especially if you're letting people buy their way onto op status.
Yeah, that's just
It's basically you're asking people
very
to,
weird.
to pay to be your staff, and they're not even going to be good staff. So the people
No,
paying that
they're
kind
not
of money
staff.
for
They're
it
just-
are definitely going to abuse it.
Yeah, they want to pay to get creative and world at it and do their thing.
I mean,
which I'm like, well, then make your own little single player world and do that. It didn't make sense.
I mean, we've had people who have paid nothing to get opt, and there have been people who have absolutely paid nothing to get opt and have still abused it. So if you're paying to get opt, you're definitely abusing it.
Yeah, 100%. So the other thing I just want to touch on is like, as a whole, I know we've talked about the in-depth of like pay to win versus Patreon, that kind of thing. It is my opinion, and I'd like to hear your opinion. I think if you are a server owner, I don't think your goal should immediately be for it to be self-sufficient. I think you should be willing to pay for the server at whatever, rate you start out with for as long as the server's there. It should never be dependent on your player base to make sure the server is alive. Like, and I even included that, like, when I left Unity briefly, I said, guys, I will always pay for Unity. Like, and I will always pay for a 4 gig. I think at the time for Shockbite, it was like 4 or 6 gig. I will always pay for that, no matter what. Like, happy to do that. If you want it to be a better experience, yeah, help me out, because I can't spend that kind of money every month just, like, building the community or, like, providing the environment for the community. So I think if this person says that they just started out a server and they're already looking for it to be self-sufficient, I think you need to either pull back on how much you're spending, or I think you're already starting off on the wrong foot if you're putting yourself out. And I think that may be what happens to a lot of the servers, like we talk about, the 3-month and done servers, is like maybe those people just are like, I'm buying 32 gigs of RAM. We're going to go top notch. There are 6 people playing on my server. I cannot afford this. No one will help me pay for it because it's not a good community. All right, see ya. Can I join the Unity server? Like, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, that may be. I first of all, I mean, I agree 100% with that. I think it's too much of a choosing beggars situation to advertise the server and immediately talk about needing the server to be self-sufficient. If you're the server owner, what is, assumed is that you've already bought, at least a basic plan for the server already, and that you're going to be willing to foster the community and nurture it from the beginning on through, because you've got your own sort of investment in the community, which isn't a monetary investment. First and foremost,
Yeah.
that's the thing, is that it can never be a monetary investment to actually create a successful community-oriented server. Now, it may be a monetary investment for people who are doing like high pixel stuff, but that's completely different. If you're doing a community server like us, or like a mid-sized server like that who wants to foster a community that will become self-sufficient, if that's your goal, you need to nurture it with love and not think of it as a monetary investment. You need to think of it as more of a it's going to be weird to say about a Minecraft server, but an emotional investment.
Yeah.
That these people are you want to find friends. You want to find a community that you can have fun with, and as much as all of us like to feel like, oh, we're cool, we don't have, we're not losers living in our parents' houses, or, living in a basement, peeing in 2-liter Mountain Dew bottles, eating, buffalo wings and only talk to online friends and everything. It's you may not be any of those things, but you definitely do have online friends. These are your friends. This is the whole point. You're not going to hang out on, and, get ready to oof me here. You're not going to hang out on a server with a bunch of assholes that you hate, right? That's not the point. Unless you're doing like an anarchy server and you're like a masochist or something, you want to hang out with people that you're going to enjoy hanging out with.
It's interesting
Otherwise, you can't enjoy the game.
Right. Well, it's the same opinion I have about sororities, and I teased my sister a lot when she joined a sorority, is you're just paying for friends. Like, that's all you're doing when you join a sorority or a fraternity. You're just paying to have friends. And that should not be what a Minecraft community is. Like, a server shouldn't be that. And like I said, I can't remember which episode it was, it should be a community that plays Minecraft. That should be your first priority, is that it's a group of people who are willing to play a game together regardless of what that game is, because they're close and they're friendships. And to be a part of that community should not require a monetary investment from people. You should have someone who is amazing and benevolent like me that is happy to provide that experience for people, and then let it grow from there. Because, I mean, I wouldn't have imagined the server would have the specs that it does, but thankfully people have felt connected enough to the community to donate. I don't ask anyone. I think I've posted the Discord link twice, or the Patreon link twice in Discord.
Twice. That's it.
But yeah, if you have a community that you've put the effort into and they feel invested emotionally, like you said, I feel like, and I can't say, but I feel like the money will come in if that's a goal. But I don't think that should really be a goal. I think that should be just like icing on the cake. If the Patreon got deleted tomorrow, Unity would still be here tomorrow. It'd definitely be downgraded, but it'd still be here tomorrow.
And like we said the last episode when Ty was on, if Minecraft suddenly didn't exist, the Discord community would still exist. We'd still be in the
that was on the
chat
episode
hanging out.
before. Yeah, is where I said even if Minecraft got deleted, we'd all be in Discord tomorrow night trying to play Fortnite or something.
By the way,
well, probably not Fortnite, but
Patreon link in the description.
Yeah, Patreon link in the description, guys. Please, I'm in this for the money, and I need some donations. Choppa, you've been spending a lot of time on server.
Just call them out.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, give us some of that sweet Canadian dough. We know you.
I need your Canadian dollars, Choppa. Anyway,
some loonies and toonies.
We are joking. There is no pressure, but if you would be inclined to help support the server, you can find it in Discord if you're on the Unity server. If you're a random person out there who wants to support Unity, link in the description.
And just message Drum and he'll give you op status.
Yeah, I'll opt you, no problem.
Everything.
Anyways, that is not true. Let me just clear that up. That is not true.
Yes, we are joking.
So one thing I will say about that server I was on, though, aside from the pay to win and all that stuff, one cool thing they did have was jobs. Have you ever played on a server that has jobs? I think it's literally just called jobs. I don't know what the specific plugin is.
I have never played on a townie or a jobs server.
Okay, well, I'll just briefly cover, and I'm sure you're aware, but just for the audience, at least on this server, you could pick a profession. You could be a lumberjack, a miner, work with animals. It had all the basic things that you could do in Minecraft as a profession. And as you did those things, as you mined, the mason, you could craft bricks and that kind of stuff. You would get paid for it, and that's how their economy worked, which was really cool because it took the whole diamond thing out of it and it made it more real life. Which was cool because then no in-game item ever became too valuable, because it was always related back to an intangible amount of money. Whereas with diamonds, you can infinitely mine them and they start becoming valueless and that kind of thing. With the in-game money, you actually had to work to get them, and I think it worked a little bit better. And that is cool if an economy is really important to you, but I don't think an economy is that important to a server.
I think an economy is important to a server in one regard, in that it fosters community codependence. In that regards that, we have a spawn town with a bunch of shops. How many of us actually use all the shops at spawn? But we're everybody gets on the server and we could be all at our bases and everything. And it's going to be, a half hour to 45 minutes later, somebody's going to be like, oh, I got to go over to spawn. For some reason, and there's always at least one other person there at spawn. Restocking shop or buying something or building something or, just hanging around spawn. doing the Minecraft thing, bouncing around, tying.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think it is. I think it's important in that sense, and I think it is important for early game to have an economy, but I think mid to late game it stops being important. And I mean, my frustrations with this topic come from we recently had a player tell us that they had lost interest in playing because the economy had become too cheap too fast, all the shops had been opened, and there was nothing left to do. There was, I think his words were literally, there's no point in mining. And I don't know about you, but that didn't make a lot of sense to me. Because, like...
It doesn't sit well with me, because I don't see it that way.
No, because I think an economy, like I said, it's great at the beginning, it's okay at mid-game. In-game, it's really just like a formality, a role play, a place to meet people. A place, it's like off-site storage most of the time. It's like if somebody needs a bunch of wood, I'm always like, well, just go to the wood shop, or you need some iron, go to the iron shop. You don't even have to pay me. That didn't matter to me. To be that invested in the economy feels kind of weird to me. Like, I don't think it matters like that.
I think people think of. I think the way most people think of it is, oh, diamond economy. I gotta, partake in the economy in order to feel like I'm a member on the server for no reason other than to get rich and then put all those diamonds back in the economy. It doesn't make sense to me.
No.
You can have the diamond economy. The goal should never actually to be get rich. The goal should be I'm going to do what I can to foster community development, like Chess and Friendly both built a bunch of shops together at Spawn, and before that they had never really hung out together.
Right. It fostered an environment
in game or in Discord and everything. That was a new, Juju and Joy. They gelled well together, and they opened up a couple shops, and they started working all those shops. And I'm going to guess, because they haven't broken up their businesses, that they had fun doing that. They didn't have a problem. They enjoyed themselves on the server, hanging out with each other, working on getting all that stuff together. And 100%, I'm gonna get Joy's new to the server, and I'm assuming that Juju might need the diamonds too. Joy definitely needed the diamonds when she started this, because she didn't even have diamond armor yet entirely. But it's not about getting
what
rich.
You said, it's a means to an end.
Yeah,
it's not about the shop. It's about creating the friendship and bonding over the shop as an excuse to hang out with each other on the server.
And on top of that, it's about creating a place on the server. Like Scavenger was not at all part of the economy before this time around when I did Scavenger subscriptions, and I added it in.
Right.
And the diamonds really didn't matter to me, other than that I was thinking well, if I get enough diamonds, I might be able to do diamond blocks is something you can get from one of the chests or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a way for me to put it at spawn, instead of just having it be announcements in Discord that in a week we're going to be doing Scavenger at such and such time, be there, be square.
Yeah.
Right? It's at spawn.
It also provided a little bit of an investment that people would have to make in order to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So it showed a level of commitment to where you're not out there making 300 maps and no one uses them. You know how many you need.
Right.
And let me just go back real quick to your get rich on a Minecraft server thing. Everyone knows I have the most diamonds on the server. I think that's well established. Do you know what that gets me?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I have 6 stacks of diamonds, 6 stacks of diamond blocks sitting in a shulker box untouched. It adds nothing to my game experience. It literally has no effect on me. And so for that to be a goal, it wasn't my goal. I wanted to open a bunch of shops because I like grinding resources, and I wanted there to be a point to that. But it doesn't add anything to my game experience. I don't think it adds anything to anybody else's game experience that I have all those diamonds. I can't even build with them. I built my office out of them, and it looks stupid, but there you go.
See, I don't even bother to put my valuable stuff in my ender chest, because it's I don't value them that much. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off if somebody comes and takes all my diamonds, especially if it's like a new player that just joined or something. But like,
Yeah.
I don't take the game that seriously that I feel like I need to protect all my super valuable stuff because I kind of, trust everybody on the server. And then on top of it, even though we have a diamond economy and that's the way of getting around, it's like, how many more diamonds do I need? I've got a bunch of netherite tools with mending on them that, I'm pretty careful about, not falling in lava and dying. And with the netherite gear, that's not even that much of a problem now.
But even so, at least on Unity, if all your stuff, if your player data file got deleted and you had nothing, do you not think within the hour everyone would have given you back as much as they could? Like, you'd be kitted out and taken care of immediately.
Yeah, that's
so it's not like that important.
I never go end busting. I've been end busting like twice in the entire time ever since End Cities started up. And pretty much before I ever get to the point that I'm geared up to go end busting, Drum just comes and gives me an elytra. He's just like, I'm tired of seeing you walk around while everybody else flies. Get this damn elytra. I'm going to give you a mending book, Unbreaking 3. We're going to deck you out with some wings. I'm going to teach you how to use rockets.
Well, you're just like, I just think of it like my disabled uncle at home. I'm like, well, I got to get an elytra. I got to bring back an elytra for Uncle Finn. Let me snag a few shulkers. Well, netherite just came out. Well, I'll drop him off some netherite because old Uncle Finn doesn't want to go into the nether. So let me bring him some netherite. Like, it's just like always in my mind. Well, would Finn need some? Oh, I'll snag him. That's my thought process.
I hope that's not actually how you think of it. Disabled.
It's not actually how I think of you, Finn. But it is always like, well, I'll just snag one.
Oh my god, I'm already turning into my own uncle.
But no, I think that should, and that just furthers my point of it's a social experiment role play kind of thing, because like if anybody needs anything, I don't think anybody would hesitate to give it to them, and like if that's like something that important to you, I'd go play on a townie server then.
That's the important thing is we have fostered a good enough community that if Juju or Joy or our deadliest player on the server, Cave, lost all of his stuff. I know with Cave, it's
which they do every time.
It's such a far off thought to think that even the great Cave would ever lose all of his stuff. We just give him all that stuff left. If somebody joins our server first day and they've got like 35 minutes on the server and they're asking for diamonds, no, we're not going to give you diamonds because we don't even know you, especially if you're not in the voice chat or anything, talking to people or proving your mettle as a good community member. But if you haven't put any time into the server or effort into it at all, we're not going to give you anything. But if you have, then it's pretty much just a free for all. Take what you need at that point.
Because Unity has always been founded on the concept of working as a community to expedite the building process, to help growth occur by working together.
Yes,
so,
I believe that was the tagline that you put in your first advertisement, was that we have the resources, you have the ideas. Is you want to be able to get everything automated, so that way it was basically in terms of block palettes and resources, basically creative mode in survival, so that way everybody could build crazy cool shit.
Yeah, we're like, I would say 60 to 70% there of like, wood is really an issue right now. But anytime there's a project I or anyone else needs to do, there's a resource, whether it's a shop at spawn or somebody willing to give it to you, there is never I gotta go grind to this. Like, and that's awesome. That means everything is getting built, getting done. Like, if you want to go grind for it. But we're at that point, and I really like it, and it's why I like technical community servers, it's like there's no hesitation. Anything you can think of can be done. We have the resources. You have the ideas. Let's go build something together. I think that's at least for me, that's what Minecraft's about. So, yeah, I have to agree with you. I don't think economy is that important, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal to, like, discourage you from wanting to play. And also, as we mentioned at the start of the show, all the ideas are taken. No, I have never thought to open a Grind Monkey shop. So I think that is a phenomenal idea and may possibly become the most, profitable shop. It probably already is, to be honest. I gave them 50 diamond blocks to help me with the Wither farm. So they're making big bucks there.
Jeez, Drew, I didn't know if you could afford that.
Yeah. See, once again, it was just like, okay, well, these are useless to me anyways. Can you spend 8 hours of your real life helping me craft pistons?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Is obviously not all the shops are taken. I mean, some people, even the ones who complain about this, come up with some pretty darn creative ideas for shops and everything. But, like scavenger subscriptions was my first shop I opened, and that was not, that was not a shop that anybody else was going to open because it was a service that was sort of endemic to me. Nobody else was thinking about as far as I know, nobody else was thinking about oh, well, I have a history of doing 4 previous scavenger hunts on the server that everybody seemed to either enjoy or want to kill themselves over, or both in Drum's
Add me to
case.
the latter category.
Yes.
Yep. Well, personally, I think the service type shops are A, where the money's at, and B, way more cool than just an iron shop. Like the Grind Monkey shop, phenomenal. If somebody, please, dear God, would open a terraforming shop on our server, I would absolutely love that. A terraforming shop would make bank on this server, let me tell you that much. Even Friendly's concept of the build coupons where you would get him to come help you build something or help you sketch out an idea. I think those kind of shops are way cooler, and those are literally only limited by what you can think of. At some point, yeah, every item in the game could be sold. You're right. Is Unity at that point? Hell no. There's 20 shops and there's 580 items in the game. So
and there's already shops that sell multiples of each item. Cave and I both. Cave has a stall in the farmer's market where he sells
chess.
Sorry to both of them. Chess has a wool shop that he set up first in the farmer's market where he sells colored wool. I set up a shop after that selling wool and dye, which is pretty much the same thing. I just sell white wool and then I sell a bunch of dye. And now Juju does all my dye for me because she's, MVP of the server.
MVP.
And I need to restock the wool, which I have needed to do for 3 days. But, on top of that, everybody knows that I have a bunch of wool and that, they could honestly just go get the wool themselves, but they want to, support the organic, free range wool that I sell.
Right. It's very important. But on the topic of multiple shops, I would really like there to be multiple shops because for a few reasons. One, a shop can run out, and then what is your option? If nobody's online and a shop's out of stuff, you have no way of getting more stuff. If there's a second shop, you can go over there and patron it. Two, it's capitalist concept of an economy. There should be competition that keeps prices at a competitive rate. Maybe the reason our thing got so cheap is that only one person selling it, that person felt all the responsibility to make it as affordable as possible. So they had to make it as cheap as possible. I'm not saying that's what I did with the iron. I'm saying that's what I did with the iron. Anyway.
I was going to say, you're getting very specific there.
Yeah, or in the case of the wood shop, if there was another wood shop, it would take a lot of pressure off of me to not think I've really got to restock the wood shop because there's no other source for people to get wood on the server. So, there's so many options for shops and so many dynamics for the economy to have that I think you're lacking creativity in the way you go about it if you think that the current status of Unity or a server that's even remotely well established, all the shops are taken, I can't do anything, blah, 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 blah. And at the same time, it's well, Choppa doesn't have a shop. That dude plays just as much as anybody and is having a blast. I don't think it's critical that you have a shop or participate. And I can't speak to what people enjoy as a player, but I mean, there's plenty of options if you want to be involved in the economy, even on a server that's going on 6 months now.
I considered myself to be a very inclusive person in terms of people that are on this server. And by that, I mean, I'm perhaps the most hard ass out of all of us admins about who gets to be invited onto the server.
Mm-hmm.
Not being modest about that. But, I'm be willing to say, that if it's your only enjoyment, like we literally had somebody answer one of my ads and said that their main goal on any server was to become the richest person on the server, and that was it. And I didn't invite them. I didn't give them a Discord invite. I wouldn't do that to people who just say that. It just seems so pointless to me.
It adds nothing. You know what it adds? It adds the occasional meme or joke about Drum has so many diamonds. That's all it is. Like, it doesn't add anything to my experience.
I mean, and you actually play on the server after you got, a certain number. There was that one person who joined the server, and I'm not going to name a name, although we both know who we're talking about, who, they wanted access to someone's, someone's end-game resource, and they jokingly said 200 diamonds, and so their entire goal on the server was to get 200 diamonds so they could afford that. And they never set up a base. All they did was they got some diamonds, they went and bought a beacon and some iron from the iron shop, or there was actually free iron and spawn that they took, because it was 1.14. We had brought iron over from the super amazing iron farm that we had at spawn in 1.13 land.
You mean the one with the 4 torches?
Yeah. And they went...
Okay.
Okay. So he goes 2,000, 2,500 blocks out, and he just finds a mine, and he's got an ender chest and a silk touch pick, and he's just mining around and around, and just keeps mining around and around for 200 diamonds. And he just puts all his stuff in his ender chest, and he picks his ender chest backs up, and then he just logs off the server. So he's never got, except for the mine, you'd never know he was ever on the server.
Why? What was the in-game resource he's trying to get?
I think it was access to Evie's gold farm or something.
And Evie was charging 200 diamonds. Okay, I'm gonna put that a little bit on Evie, but okay, whatever.
Maybe it made for exciting content because he streamed some of that too.
Yeah, that's very odd. I don't know. Well, I think that's gonna about do it for us this week. I'll just as a slight housekeeping notice. Yeah, last week there were some errors. It was the first time I edited on my new rig. Plus we had Ty, so I was doing 3 people talking at once. There's a few errors. That's been corrected and re-uploaded. So last week the view count is probably way down. You didn't miss anything. I just re-uploaded. If you heard the original, all you missed was Thin and Ty talking over each other. Fixed that. Just deleted what Ty was saying. Thin was more important. So it's all good.
We learned important lessons about editing more than 2 people on the podcast.
Well, we learned that Drum should really take time instead of doing it right after the podcast when he's already tired.
Well, we also learned that having more than 3, or we can't have a bunch of people. We can't have a bunch of guests on.
Yeah, if we were ever to have more than one, if we were ever to have 4 people, it would just be all right, I'm just recording the Discord call and I'm putting it out. I'm not going to try and edit that or clean it up. Be on your best behavior. That's what's going out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for stopping by this week. Hopefully you found some of it entertaining, trashing on other servers.
Yeah.
It's what me and Finn do best.
Yeah.
Because Unity, as we always say, is the best server ever made.
Exactly. Sorry about not trashing servers last week. We'll come back next week with more server trashing, of course. Maybe
Absolutely.
Even with a third voice to trash with us. We love ragging on other servers.
We'll find something to get mad about. Absolutely. So from me and my good Uncle Finn, thank you for listening to the Unity podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.